Hello Internet, so nice to see you. Today I'm going to talk to you about negative rhythm and how to play in the pocket. And believe it or not, those two things are related. Now, negative rhythm sounds a lot like negative harmony, doesn't it? And it's probably part of the same kind of mental toolset that you can use to make music and to make your music more interesting. So let's see what negative rhythm is. It's such a simple idea when you explain it correctly that it's not even, you're gonna see it and you're gonna be like, it's obvious, and it works. And by the way, notice that there are no videos on negative rhythm on YouTube. You've heard it here first. Let's say I have a rhythm. Could be any rhythm. Okay? I'm gonna stay in 4/4, okay, right now, and I'm gonna play this super easy rhythm. I'm gonna write it first in standard notation, then I'm gonna write in a different, easier notation, okay? But for the standard notation fanatics, here it is. I'm gonna have a hit, a rest, 2 hits, a rest, another hit there, and 2 hits. You guys know this rhythm, okay? You guys know this rhythm because everybody learns this rhythm when they start learning to play guitar, because it's this. Habla. Okay. Okay. Very easy. These can be written in a slightly different notation. Now, standard notation is not a bad thing. It's a bit unfamiliar if you don't know it, of course. It's not that hard to learn, honestly. It's actually pretty easy to learn. But for what I'm going to do right now, it's an inconvenient notation. Okay, so I'm going to use a slightly different notation, again, without taking anything away from standard notation. I'm going to simply think of these as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, okay, so I have the beats 1, 2, 3, and 4, and the upbeats and I'm gonna think of it essentially as a series of moments in time in which I can put a hit or nothing. Okay, so essentially I have those 8 slots in time, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, those 8 slots in time, and I can either put a hit in the slot or put nothing, in which case I don't play in that. Simple, no? Easy as that. Now, of course, right now I'm doing it with 8 notes in a 4/4. You can do this in 3/4, in 5/4. You can use 16 notes. You can use triplets. You can use quintuplets. I don't care. Okay? I'm just keeping it simple right now. The negative rhythm of this rhythm is when you flip full x to nothing and nothing to x. So the negative rhythm of this is when there's an x, I don't put anything. There's nothing, so I put an x. Nothing, nothing, an x here, nothing, nothing, nothing. This is the negative rhythm of this. Okay? How does this sound? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and that's how it sounds. Doesn't sound like much, right? So here's the thing. There are so many ways to use this. You have no idea. The first thing is that I can play this followed by this. Now, that's a pretty busy rhythm. With busy, I mean most of the slots are full. So that's a pretty sparse rhythm, so most of the slots are empty. So there's going to be a bit of contrast, but it works. That's how it sounds. Pum, 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 pum. Okay? Notice how these, following these, keeps you in style. This whole rhythm flows very naturally. It doesn't sound artificial. It doesn't sound bad. It doesn't sound like I'm just stacking something new onto something old. It stays in style. When you do the negative rhythm, you stay in style. So that's a great variation for that. Okay? That's one way of using this. Another way is to have some instruments play this and some other instruments play this. And that's where it takes me to playing in the pocket. Now, in the pocket, you may have heard this expression. You need to play in the pocket, okay? I've heard this expression used with two different meanings, okay? And incidentally, every time I talk about these to other musicians, every musician is very adamant that only one of those meanings is the correct one and not the other one. But they don't agree on which one is the right one. So, what I'm telling you is this. I don't know which one is the real meaning, but I've heard the expression in the pocket used to indicate two different things. The first one is the band plays in the pocket when everybody in the band is perfectly tight, okay? The hit of the kick drum or the snare drum and the bass player and the guitar player and the keyboard player, bam, they all come exactly at the same time. The band has groove. It's tight. Everybody sounds like a single rhythmic unit. And so some people call this playing in the pocket. That's a valid meaning. But other people use in the pocket in a different sense, and I find this other sense at least as interesting. And it's this. It means to play in the pocket for those other people is to play when nobody else is playing. Which means, for instance, if you play in a song, you can be absolutely sure that every time the chord changes, so on the 1 on the bar, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, on the 1 on the bar, you're going to have the kick drum of the drummer. You're going to have the bass player playing the root note or the bass note of the chord. You're going to have maybe the singer singing it, because singers somehow cannot resist singing something on the 1 of the bar. You as a guitar player would be well advised to not play on the 1 of the bar, unless it's specifically required to do that. So if you're creating a part for your song, a good idea would be to listen to what's going on, see what's the rhythm played by the rest of the band, and you play on the negative rhythm. So when nobody else is playing, you sneak in a chord or a note, part of an arpeggio, something. This accomplishes several different goals all at the same time. First of all, the singer is not going to be angry with you because you're soloing all over his vocal part, okay? Which is a big problem, believe me. Okay? So, you are never playing when the singer is singing. The moment the singer takes his breath, put in a little bit of a solo, okay, or something like that, or a chord. You're never going to step all over the drum part, or the bass part, or the piano part. You listen to what they're doing, and whenever they don't play, you play. The second, and for us guitar player, more important goal, because after all, we don't really care if the singer is angry, right? But the more important goal for us is that if nobody else is playing in that little moment in time, then they can hear the guitar. We are always in a volume war, no? Because maybe the piano player is super loud and you want to be heard, but everybody can hear only the piano player. But hey, here's the thing. If you learn to play in between his notes rhythmically, then people can hear the guitar perfectly, right? So you learn to play in the pocket in this sense, in the negative rhythm sense, and then people are always hearing you, even if you cannot raise the volume more than a certain amount, even if your sound does not cut through the mix. You cut through the mix because nobody's playing in that specific moment. And the only thing playing is the guitar. It's a super important skill to learn, especially when you're playing live, especially when you're played as a higher gun. If you learn that, you never stomp on anybody else playing. You are always heard, but without stomping on anybody else. It makes your life so much easier. And learning to do this in real time, honestly, it's not so hard. How do you do it? Well, write a few rhythms. That's the exercise. You practice this, you become a much better musician immediately. Write a few rhythms. You can copy from somewhere, or you can just put random X's in this grid and then play them on your guitar. And then create the negative. And now play this other rhythm here and learn to hear how these and these are related. Play these and then play these adjust after. Record yourself playing these and play these on top. You need to do this just for a few of them. And then you're going to get the idea. You're going to feel it. You're going to feel when there is space in the music. Okay? And you're going to learn to play and sneak in your note and your chord and your things exactly when there is space in the music. This is an exercise you can do yourself. Now, if you are playing with a band, there's another great exercise you can do. You want to watch the singer. And your goal here will be that every time the singer doesn't sing, you sneak in something like that. Something, a little bit of phrase, the moment the singer is not singing. How do you know when the singer is not singing? Well, singers have a big problem with respect to us guitar players. They have to catch their breath. So I want you to stand just behind the singer, and I want you to watch the singer's shoulders. And the moment the singer's shoulder go down and then go up, that's your cue. Okay? The moment he moves his shoulders, you know he's taking a breath and put in a little phrase. And then watch until it takes a breath and put in another phrase. And then watch until it takes another breath and put in another phrase, and so on and so forth. Okay? And get used to react this way to your singer. First of all, you're going to notice is that by the end of the gig, your singer is going to compliment you. I can guarantee that. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. He's going to tell you, dude, you never stumped on me. Dude, this is something great tonight. Never had a problem with you. Okay? It's going to happen. Just try it. And second, you're going to become a much, much, much better musician just by sharpening your rhythm skills. That's one of the many things you can do. Now, if you want to learn how to do all these little phrases that I was doing before. Okay, those are super simple phrases. There's really nothing complex in here, but I know some people are going to ask about those. These are just little phrases on a pentatonic scale. I put together a free ebook that contains 18 tips to make your pentatonic sound professional, and those tips are what I'm using right now, really. You go get the ebook, it's free, download it, watch the videos. I'm going to explain all those little tricks you use to create those little phrases. It's small things, but they're easy to learn and they make you sound good immediately. So you want to go, there's going to be the link in the description and on the video. Go and click, get the free ebook, completely free, no string attached, haha. No string attached. Dude, I'm bad today. Okay, no problem. And get the free book. It's great. Learn this negative thing. And until next time, enjoy.